The time a girl tried to be racist, I guess, and ended up just embarrassing herself. I remembered this story the other day and told my parents about it, just to set the context of the scene. This was when I was in middle school, and I was going to a Christian school in a southern small town. So, just so you get the picture. So, there was definitely no diversity in this school, and this school went from 7th to 12th grade. It was middle school and high school combined. Even though my name is Ashley, when you hear my last name, people immediately know that's not white. I was a really shy girl, still really shy. I hated having any attention brought to me, but every time I got a new teacher, I was definitely brought to the center of attention because of my last name, and everyone starts asking me questions, and I'm like, just teach me. I don't want to answer these questions anymore. And sometimes it was really embarrassing, like all the teachers trying to pronounce my name, no one ever really being able to, even when I'd repeat it back to them over and over again. One teacher, every single time I went to his class, like literally every time, he'd yell out my last name in not the correct way. Yeah, everyone knew immediately that I was Hispanic. I was the only one in the entire middle school class. The only one. So let me backtrack a little. Every summer I would go visit my grandparents in New York. I used to have a bunch of girls' days with my grandma, and she would take me to the city, to Manhattan. We both loved Macy's. At this school, you had to wear, not necessarily like uniforms, but like a polo shirt, like khakis and stuff. And so she took me to Macy's and she got me a bunch of Tommy Hilfiger shirts for school. So that year when I went back to school, I was wearing these shirts. So I'm just sitting in class minding my own business. I didn't like talking to people, and none of my friends were in any of my classes. So I just didn't really talk to people. I would go to my classes and listen to the teacher, and I wouldn't talk to anyone because I didn't like anyone. So I'm just sitting there, and this girl, she would sit in front of me, and she would always be like looking back, like talking to her friends or whatever, all across the classroom, I don't know. And she turns around, looks down at my shirt, at the Tommy Hilfiger shirt with the Tommy Hilfiger logo, and goes, "Why are you wearing the Puerto Rican flag?" Not joking, that's exactly what she said to me. And I was like genuinely confused at first, and I was like, what are you talking about? And she goes, "On your shirt, why are you wearing the Puerto Rican flag?" I looked at her and I was like, "You mean the logo? That's not the Puerto Rican flag, it's the logo for Tommy Hilfiger." And she was just like, "Oh." Literally, what do you mean? What do you mean? No, because like I was actually dumbfounded. Like, there's no way you just asked me that. There's no way. First of all, even if I was wearing the Puerto Rican flag, okay, so what? Like, but see, I wasn't, and now you just look stupid. Now you look dumb. That's what you get. I have more stories. Some of them are funny like this, and some of them are the reason that I had to be homeschooled after 2nd grade. And I think about that, and at the time, like growing up, I was a little kid, and I was just so confused why people were so mean to me sometimes. I was like, I'm not doing anything wrong to anyone. Why is everyone being so mean to me? Think about how I felt, and I can't imagine how it feels for people who have tan skin or who have an accent, or I definitely can't imagine what Black people go through. Look at myself compared to my family members. I feel like I look white, but I have no idea what I look like to people from a white person's perspective. Just the amount of stories I have while I look like this, like I'm really pale. When I was younger in elementary school, I was always out in the sun, so I was a lot darker, but in middle school, to myself, I feel like I looked white. But like, again, I don't know what I look like to other people's perspective. Just thinking about these types of stories, I just feel so bad for people who actually look like they're a minority. You know, this girl probably doesn't even remember that, but I remember it. I think also it was my first time going back to school since 2nd grade. I didn't like most of the people I was around. I had 2 friends, and so of course I'd remember that. Because why do you have an issue with me? Like, what did I do to you? I'm minding my own business. You mind yours. At the time, I didn't fully realize it. That was so unnecessary. Like, you were just trying to be mean. Like, you genuinely were just trying to be mean. But yeah, I just thought this would be an interesting thing to share because it's funny, but also sad. And if you grew up in a small southern town, you know. You know what it's like.
Story time about how my roommate of 1 month tried to kill me. If you don't like people screaming or you're wearing headphones, warning. So I'm gonna give a little bit of backstory before I get into the videos. If you just want to see the videos, then skip to here. So basically how I wound up with this girl, my best friend at the time who I was moving in with, texted me like a couple weeks before we moved in and asked if we could sign this other girl onto our lease. I agreed, knew nothing about her, thought it'd be fine, trusted my friend at the time. Once I agreed, didn't know anything, hadn't heard from anybody, I find out 2 weeks before we move in that this girl is a raging alcoholic, is on either probation or parole or something for something with alcohol, and likes to get drunk and kick people's doors in. So, I don't know about you, I personally think that's something that should have been included before she signed the fucking lease, but I guess not. So after finding this out, I was a little bit worried. I moved in a week before my other roommates did, so I was already here, had all my stuff moved in, had been here, we had been like drinking, whatever. So I had like a bottle of alcohol sitting on the counter. I didn't think that that was an issue. I was newly 21 at this point. This girl was like 26, I think. Anyway, I had a bottle of alcohol that was sitting on the counter when they moved in, and she decides to come in literally within like 2 minutes of walking through the door, drinks most of my bottle. I don't know this girl at all, so I thought this was absolutely fucking bonkers. I don't know. Then it turned into she would sneak into my room and drink my alcohol that was in my room or in my closet, and then the alcohol out here we would have to hide from her. And then basically we were having like interventions with her once a week because she was a raging alcoholic that we didn't fucking know about and had a severe drinking problem and was hammered literally any chance she got. So we would sit her down and have these like mini intervention things on the couch, and we would talk for like 3 or 4 hours and really think we got through to her, and the next day she would wake up and be like, oh, what happened? Like, what happened last night? I don't remember anything. What? Anyway, so the day that all this went down, I'd already had problems with her. I told her to stop touching my shit. Like, I don't know you. It's not yours. You haven't paid me back for anything. You're supposed to be a recovering alcoholic. Like, stop drinking my shit, you know? Also, like, I understand. I have sympathy for people that have problems like that, and I did my best to keep things, like, kept out of plain sight for her to take. But you moved into a college apartment, not a fucking halfway house. I shouldn't have to babysit you. Anyway, the day that this all went down, I came home, had already had a bad day. I walk over to, like, the bathroom to see what she's doing. She is an entire bottle of fucking Jose Cuervo Deep, dyeing her hair red. Looked like a murder scene, literal hair dye everywhere. All of the bathroom, the shower was pink. So I was pissed off because we're gonna have to pay for this shit when she moves out. So I ended up leaving, and I went and hung out with my other roommate at her job. Hung out there for like an hour or two, whatever. We were just shit talking, you know. I come home and open the fridge and see that my bottle of wine that I was planning on drinking was completely empty and refilled with water. Once again, I know it's just alcohol, but it's the premise. Like, I'm not a fucking idiot. So I ended up confronting her. I went and knocked on her door. I'll just show the video. I'm fucking done with this. If you drink my shit one more time, I'm going to the office. I'm fucking done. I'm trying to be lenient and help you out, but you are fucking using us, and I'm done. Get your shit together, dude. Yes, you fucking don't. So, after I confronted her, I went to my room and locked the door and planned on just sitting there being pissed off the rest of the night, you know? Well, about 2 minutes later, she is banging on my door, threatening to kill me, saying, like, let me pay you back, fuck you, I hope you die, basically.
Oh, goodness, my phone, and all I do is dye my hair when I fucking got home. You have nothing fucking to say to me besides that, because you've been on top of everything fucking else, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm like freaking out. This girl is literally off her rocker. I had no way out. We had like a screen that like you can't get out of the window of this apartment. So I started my iPad to take a 45-minute long video of this whole fiasco while I called someone and they walked me through like kicking. I had to kick the screen out to get out of my room. So my iPad was running, getting all this on video. I run out to my car. I'm in a bra and shorts. And I go out to the car and I call the cops because what else are you supposed to do? While this is happening, I have people telling me not to do that because she's on parole or probation or whatever, and I could get her in trouble. Whoop-de-fucking-do, stop stealing my shit then. I also think it's worth noting that she was on the phone with her mom telling her that I was forcing her to drink. She wants to be sober. I forced her to buy me alcohol and don't pay her back. Just all the typical lies that you hear from someone like this. So here's some of what was going on while I was outside talking to the cops.
Open the fuck up and tell me what I owe you, bitch. Since you think I owe you shit, and then I'll pay you, and that's it. You got 5 fucking seconds before I come fucking credit card it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm credit carding your door. You asked for it. Fucking children! You better open the door because my mom's about to flip shit, Kate. So open the door, fucking.
So as I'm outside, like, explaining to the cops what is going on, he decides to walk up to my window. We're on the first story, like, right next to the parking lot. So he walks up to my door and, like, peeks in, shining his flashlight, like, looking around. And she credit cards my door again.
But guess what? Your door gets credit carded until you want to fucking talk about these things. Because I'm not doing this fucking shit. Kate! Where the fuck are you?
Because she couldn't, like, kick it open. And the cop is literally standing there and says, "What are you doing?" And she says, "Who the fuck are you?" And he says, the cops. We got called. Who, like, what are you doing?" And she looks dead at the cop and says, "Well, I don't know. Where's Kate? I'm gonna fucking kill this bitch." So at this point, the cop calls back up because we're dealing with force. So the other cops come in and we're trying to figure out what's going on. They came in. She's acting completely sober, like she hasn't been doing anything. "Oh, I've just been sitting in my room all night. I haven't done anything at all, officer." The cops aren't falling for her shit. Thank God, because I showed them a little snippet of what had been going on. So they end up barricading her onto one side of our kitchen entryway so that me and my roommate can walk in and get our stuff and leave, because the options they gave us was we leave and we stay somewhere else for the night, or she goes to jail. And it was up to me. And at this point, I already had people apparently on the phone saying they were going to come beat my ass if I press charges. So I was too scared to press charges. Looking back now, God, I wish I would have. So we come in, pack our stuff. She's, like, still trying to act sober in front of the cops, but is simultaneously trying to, like, lunge at us across the kitchen. Also, worth noting, before we went inside, the cop asked me if she was schizophrenic. So that tells you what we were dealing with here. So we ended up going and staying somewhere else that night, and I had already planned, like, the cops gave me a card and told me I need to have her evicted because this was technically breaking and entering because I pay for my own room, and she had no problem coming in, stealing my shit, drinking my alcohol, and then kicking my door down or credit carding it to get in to probably kill me if she would have gotten to me. My plan was to go talk to the office the next day. So we end up staying at a friend's house, wake up the next morning to a text that says, "Where are you guys? What happened last night? LOL." Are you fucking beyond me? So I was raging at this point. We were avoiding plates as much as possible. I don't remember if she left or if she was still here, but, like, we were just avoiding the apartment at this point. So she ended up sending a bunch of texts saying that, like, she was moving out. We needed to sit down and have an adult conversation. And I replied and I said, "I'm not sitting down with you and having an adult conversation considering you tried to fucking kill me the last time I did that." So she was, like, calling me childish, whatnot. She ended up moving out, packed her shit and left. I hope she's doing well. Honestly, I don't really fucking care anymore. If you're that age and acting like that, if you have problems like that, if you know that you can't be in an environment like this, be a grown adult and fucking make decisions that will better you instead of putting your shit on everybody else.
Today's episode of Why I Hate Working in Fucking Retail, but plot twist, it's not because y'all are dumb this time. It's because of other freaking managers. This is the story time of how and why I got fired from H&M. And y'all been waiting for this story, so buckle up. So boom, I transferred my job at H&M from Tampa, Florida to the city that I'm in now. And when I transferred as a regular associate because they didn't have any supervisor positions for me to transfer into. So I said, cool, I'll take the demotion. I don't care. I was still getting paid kind of around the same that I was getting paid as a supervisor anyway, so I didn't care. So my store manager at the new location that I was working at, he was about to transfer to another location to be their store manager. And he asked me, did I want to come with him as his supervisor? So I said, yes. The fuck, give me that shmoney, honey. So immediately when my coworkers found out that I was going to that location, they immediately warned me about this lady. And we're going to call her Flip Flop. And Flip Flop, if you watching this hoe, I still need that to this day. Still need that. The fuck, I still don't like your ass to this day. But anyway, so they immediately warned me about her, and they like, she's rude, she got a slick mouth, and she gonna make your life a living hell. Nobody likes her there. Every time we've gone there to work, we literally hate her. You're not gonna like her. So I'm like, okay, noted. I'm already in my head like, okay, thanks for putting me up on game. I know how I'm gonna go about this. So fast forward, me and my store manager, we start working at the new location, and I immediately start seeing what everybody is saying. The other employees in the new location that we're working at, they're literally giving me all the tea. Nobody likes her in that bitch. The only person that liked her was the other department manager, and that's because she didn't have no backbone and she kissed her ass. Like, she was an ass kisser. So that was her only friend. Nobody else liked her in there. So I immediately start seeing what people were saying. She was very nice, nasty, very passive aggressive, very slick mouth, but she would laugh it off like she wasn't just disrespecting you. She ain't mean it like that. She was just joking. No, bitch, she was dead ass serious. And she was one of those people that liked to assert her dominance over you. She wanted to let you know that she was your boss and you're going to listen to her because you're below her. She was one of those people. And if you have to do that to manage, you're not a good manager. I don't care. If you have to treat the people below you like they're less than to get them to listen to you, you're not a good manager. I don't care. And if you're like that, you're lame. So this particular day, I was fed the fuck up. I was fed up. So an employee calls me to the register to handle a customer interaction. And if you've watched any of my previous story times, you know that, why are you in my ear? Don't mind the dogs. But if you've watched any of my previous story times, then you know that as a manager, I was always on the employee's side. And if that makes me a bad person, then so be it. I never cared. If that makes me a bad person or a bad manager because I treated my employees with respect and like they were human, so be it. I don't care. So they called me to the register to handle the customer interaction because they know I'm going to keep shit in compliance. And I did. So after the customer interaction, I didn't know that Flip Flop was in the corner eavesdropping on the whole thing. So she comes around the corner and immediately she's like, oh, you're always trying to be their friend and never their manager. And she said it just like that. So I'm looking at her like, bitch, who are you talking to? What are you even talking about? You don't know, like, what are you even talking about? Like, where is this even coming from? So really, you're mad because nobody likes you. You're mad because nobody likes you. Nobody listens to you. And everybody avoids you because nobody likes working with you. You're mad because I can hee ha ha with everybody in here and they still respect me. They still respect me as a manager. They still respect me as a person. They do anything I ask them to. No questions asked because I respect them and they respect me. And we can still go spill tea 10 seconds later. And I can tell them to do something another 10 seconds later and they're still going to do it. They respect me. And you're mad because I get along with everybody and nobody likes you. Maybe if you tried being a better person, you wouldn't have to project your insecurities onto me. So she's like, oh, you're always trying to be their friend, never their manager. I immediately black. When I tell y'all, I don't know what happened, but I just started seeing black. And at that point, all bets are off the table. We're going back and forth. We're going back and forth now. And mind y'all, we're in front of the registers. It's customers around. It's employees around. Everybody watching the show, right? We're going back and forth to the point where we get in each other's faces. We get in each other's faces like, oh yeah, bitch, it's time to rumble, ho. Mind y'all, she's like 45. I'm like 20. What are you arguing with a 20-year-old for? You're like on the brink of death. Like, anyway, girl, like, cut it the fuck out. Mind y'all, I'm 5'8", like 200 pounds. She's like a 5'2", 5'3", little Hispanic lady. Like, what you want to smoke with me for? So we're arguing, we're in each other's face. It's to the point where the store manager comes down and he's like, whoa, 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 what is going on here? She immediately starts lying to him. She starts lying to him about the interaction. She's trying to make me seem like I was the aggressor, like I just started blacking out of nowhere. No, you disrespected me. You came down, you came around the corner, and you said something in front of everybody, the customers and the employees, that you should have pulled me to the side and said. If you felt like that, cool. But you could have pulled me to the side and said that. You didn't have to say that in front of everybody, trying to undermine me and make me seem like I don't know how to do my job, when everybody knows that's a lie, including you. So yes, I did black on you. Hell yeah, because you had me fucked up. And you caught me on the wrong day. What can I say? I'm not going to apologize. So when she starts lying, oh baby, I turn up. I turn up to the point where I'm like, bitch, I'll slap the dog shit out you. Like, we could really fight. We could really do this. But I never put my hands on her in any of this whole interaction. And I wish that I would have, because I knew I was getting fired. I knew after, because the way, I can't explain the way that I was blacking, but babe, I was going off on her. I was going in. Like, I was going in on her. So I already knew I was getting fired. So I'm like, damn, if I'm going to get fired, I might as well go out with a damn bang. I wish I would have punched her. To this day, I still need that. So it's getting so bad to the point where they had to separate us. They sent me upstairs and locked me outside. And they sent her outside to her car. So eventually I calmed down. After like 10 minutes outside, eventually I calmed down. And my store manager, he comes out to get me. And he's like, damn, I wish you would have handled that situation differently, because now I can't save you. Like, it's out of my hands and it's up to the district manager. And I'm like, I already know I'm getting fired, so I really don't care. So I come in and I write the report, because, you know, you got to write a little incident report or whatever. And in the report, I'm basically giving them the whole rundown. I'm telling them how she is as a manager, how she makes everybody's life miserable, the type of person she is, and exactly what happened in the altercation. I told them everything, but they already knew this about her, because they get complaints about her all the time. They were getting complaints about her all the time. They just never did anything about it. So why is it my fault that y'all ain't doing y'all job? Why is it my fault that y'all are not doing y'all job? If you're getting complaints about this person, obviously they're making this work environment toxic for the people around them. Why would you want a toxic work environment for your employees? But it's my fault, right? It's my fault. It's my fault because I got fed up. Anyway, it's my fault because I got fed up. Like, make it make sense. So basically, I got on my call with the district manager, and she's like, we're going to have to let you go because of the intenseness of the situation. Like, because you were wilding so bad, we got to let you go. And honestly, at that point, I didn't give a fuck, because we're in 2021. It's mid-pandemic. What the fuck? H&M is not essential. What are we doing here anyway? Let me collect unemployment like everybody else. So I really didn't give a fuck. I went home happy. My only regret is that I didn't punch that bitch in her face. But that's the story of how I got fired from H&M.
Story time on how I almost got kidnapped and why you should always trust your gut and be aware of your surroundings. Like I'm telling you, my intuition probably saved me that day. Okay, so this was about 2 months ago, and it was me and my 2 other friends, and we were like in this shopping center. It was just like a mall kind of, but it was all outside. And I'm telling you, like, we literally come here all the time, and it's a place where like literally everyone goes. It's actually in a really nice area, and something like this has never happened to us before. So at this point, we were walking around for like an hour at this point, and we were coming out of this jewelry store, and this man was like acting confused and like walking by, but I didn't really give him much attention. I remember seeing him like one other time that day, but like he didn't bother us, or like he wasn't being suspicious. Like, here's where it gets weird. Like, he comes up to us, and he's like, a bunch of teenage girls, mind you, and he's like a grown man, and he goes, hey, can you guys help me find my debit card? Like, I literally cannot find it anywhere. And why that's so weird to me is because, like, why would a grown man come ask 3 teenage girls if they can help him find his debit card? Like, I'm telling you, there's so many police cars around, and you can literally go into any store and ask someone if they've seen it. Like, why would you ask 3 teenage girls? But, like, maybe he was just asking if we've seen it, and, like, I understand. But we were like, no, sir, we cannot help you find it. And I'm telling you, what was so weird about that interaction was he was, like, so defensive when I said, no, we can't help him. He was like, why? And I literally just took charge. I made something up. I was like, sir, we have reservations, and we don't want to be late to them. And I'm telling you guys, like, I did not have any reservations. Like, I literally made that up just to get out of the situation. But then I was like, there's a ton of police cars around, and I'm pretty sure there's some adults in these stores that can help you. I was just like, that's so weird. Like, why would a grown man ask 3 teenage girls to help him find his debit card? Like, no, that's weird. And then after that, he was like, okay. And then I kind of signaled to my friends that, like, we're going. Like, we went the opposite way than he did. And we were inside of a Sephora, and, like, he wasn't really bothering us at that point. And we were walking out of the Sephora. And tell me why that man is literally standing outside the Sephora. I'm like, what the actual heck? So we walk out loud and proud, walk by him, we walk the opposite way, and like I point to him and I show my friends like after we've like kind of walked down, and I'm like, dude, what the heck? Like, why is this grown man like literally outside of a Sephora? Like, maybe his daughters are in there though, but like, why? I don't know, that's just so weird. So we were walking around for a little bit longer, and like I literally keep seeing him out of the corner of my eye, but he's definitely like following us from a distance. Like, he's not really like really up close. And kind of like how the mall is, it's like there's a strip of stores, and then there's like a walkway that you can walk all the way down to the parking garage. And we were coming around this corner, and he was coming around this corner, and he literally passed by us, and I'm just like, what the heck? And I don't know if my friends thought I was being dramatic, but I'm just like, why would this dude get so pissed that we weren't helping him find his debit card and then like continue to follow us? And then I told my friends, I was like, this is how we're gonna prove that he's following us. We're gonna go to Victoria's Secret, a women's like undergarment place, and if he's there, he's definitely following us, because number one, it's at the opposite side of where we're at right now, and like, why would a grown man be at Victoria's Secret? Unless if he's with his girlfriend or with his wife or buying something for them. But he was by himself this whole entire time. We have not seen him with someone else. Like, he was by himself. Sure enough, we go to Victoria's Secret, we walk out, and he's at the store next door. What the heck? And like at this time, we were kind of done shopping around, and we were like, you guys just want to go home? But we were gonna walk out to the parking garage, and there was a police car at the corner, so we went ahead and told them. We were like, hey, this man, we gave him a description, has been literally following us, and he asked us if we could help him find his credit card, and he was like kind of aggressive when we told him no, and we just think that we would feel more safe if you watched us get in our car and leave. And the police guy was like totally understanding of it. He was like, okay, I'll watch you guys, da 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 da. And then sure enough, the guy was like standing on the opposite side of the parking garage, and then he saw the police car, and then he just like literally walked away. Hey, call me crazy, maybe he wasn't following us, but like, why was he at Victoria's Secret? Why would he ask a bunch of teenage girls, like, if they can help him find his credit card? Like, no. And, like, maybe I was being paranoid or whatever, but, like, I'm telling you, I was trusting, like, my gut, and I'm telling you, like, that was shady. That was weird.